During 2021, as I was really getting into learning all about digital marketing, I was looking for courses to upskill. And one of the terms that stood out to me at the time was the term growth marketing. I'd like to think of growth marketing as digital marketing 2.0. Growth marketing has a lot of similarities to digital marketing, but there's a few nuances that make growth marketing slightly more technical, slightly more broader in terms of responsibilities. We'll talk about why that is. So on a practical level, growth marketing is more full funnel. We're looking at the customer's journey from point of awareness all the way to retention and re-engagement. Growth marketing also tends to be a bit more holistic in the way that we output marketing campaigns. So it's not one-dimensional where we might post content or send an email. There's always some kind of post-action that we think about. On a conceptual level, growth marketing is really all about following your customers from point of awareness to acquisition, to activation, to revenue, retention, and referrals. When we talk about revenue, we can start to think about profitability, we can start to think about lifetime value. When we talk about referral, we can talk about referral loops or virality loops, any form of marketing output that can get us more revenue or more engagement, rather than focusing on just one metric. Remember that the theme of growth marketing is with every marketing output, there's always a post-action. So while digital marketing and growth marketing are fairly similar, let's talk about the differences at a top line level. Digital marketing is simply the process of communicating your idea or your product or your service as a business to your customers, and that's done through digital technologies using the internet. That communication could be deployed on a phone, on a tablet, or a desktop, or a laptop, but digital marketing tends to be very upper funnel, right? When we talk about upper funnel, all that means is we focus a lot more on brand awareness or product awareness and customer acquisition. Now on to growth marketing. So growth marketing is very similar to digital marketing as mentioned, but we go slightly deeper into some of these elements. So three components of growth marketing is really following the user journey full funnel, being more data-driven with their decisions and their approach to their marketing output. And then finally, growth marketing tends to be more focused on experiments, testing different ideas out to see where we can unlock a lot more value per part of the customer journey that they have to go through. So you can think of growth marketing as an approach. You can see growth marketing as a discipline. And as of 2024, growth marketing is a job function or a job role. So as mentioned, being data-driven means that you first need to know how to acquire data, right? What types of data do you need? Do you need data from your web analytics? Do you need data from the specific landing pages you may have built? Are you taking data from the social media that you've put out? And not just being able to see the data, but being able to analyze and extract insights from that data. There's a lot of data available to us now in 2024, but the value is really in seeing patterns in the data and unlocking insights, improving or helping you reiterate your next campaign or any optimizations you're doing. When you're data-driven, it tends to be more technical, whereas a lot of digital marketing, it might be more focused on project management and more on the creative side. Growth marketing tends to be slightly more technical. So we talked about how growth marketing tends to be full funnel. All that really means is you think of a full journey that your customers or potential customers will likely go through, right? Let's imagine I'm looking for a phone. I see an ad from Apple promoting their new iPhone. That is the point of awareness. I'm now aware of the iPhone. The next stage is acquisition. So I click on the ad. I actually buy the product. Now the next stage is activation, but what that really means is you now want the person to see the actual full value of what they've purchased or what they've subscribed to. So what that means is I open the iPhone, I set it up and I start using it. That's a form of activation. We're getting the user to actually use the product. Then the next stage is revenue. So in this case, I've already bought the product. That part of the funnel is solved, but you can think of other points of revenue, right? So when I'm about to purchase a product from iPhone, they might sell accessories. So that's a post action that a growth marketer within the Apple team was probably thinking about. So not just selling the phone, but looking at any additional sales that they can extract from the customer. And the next stage is a referral or a referral loop. All that really means is I buy the product from Apple, I get an email, and potentially that email might say, hey, here's a discount code of 5% for your next purchase. And if you share this link, you can get an additional £10 off What that means is we're now referring Apple's product onto another customer. So there's a sense of us promoting their product, right? So we're marketing for the company, or I'm also now marketing it. If I do share that link, I'm now marketing for Apple. And then finally, retention. So when we talk about retention, all that really means is now that we've acquired this customer, now that we've potentially extracted revenue from the customer, how can we keep these customers engaged? How can we keep them on the platform? How can we keep them on the app? How can we keep them buying from us? So that's when you start to think about lifecycle marketing or email marketing. How can we re-engage these users once we've acquired them? Another core principle of being a growth marketer is the ability to work cross-functionally. Cross-functional means you're able to join a company and communicate and collaborate with different teams. Whether that means I work with creative designers to request creative assets for advertising or to create graphics for social media content. Whether that means I collaborate with data teams to acquire data that I can't acquire myself and then maybe potentially help them analyze the data. That could mean cross-functional also means being able to work with stakeholders, right? Your stakeholders, whether that's your line manager, management, the founder of the company, C-suite level people within your company. The ability to work with different teams is very important. The last core principle of a growth marketer is deploying experiments. They have an experimental mindset. And what that means is a growth marketer will think of ways to validate improving a metric. So let's say something very simple. I work for an e-commerce based business. We sell clothing. A growth marketer will think of ways to improve conversion rates, right? I want to improve the conversion rate from someone clicking on the ad to the point of purchase. So the first thing you'd want to do is whatever the benchmark number is, what's your current conversion rate? So let's say it's 1%, just for the sake of keeping it simple. The growth marketer will want to experiment redesigning the landing page to improve that conversion rate from 1 to maybe 1.5%. Because that 0.5 uplift might get an additional £10,000 in revenue for that month. And that experimental mindset can be expanded onto other areas, right? Other marketing disciplines, other marketing channels. That could be done through A/B testing different headlines for your email, creating different types of content and seeing what resonates, creating different types of content and seeing which type of content resonates, which content gets more engagement or shares. Another experiment could be testing out different audiences within your ad networks if you're a performance marketer or in advertising. So there's lots of ways you can do experiments as a growth marketer. But the main point is that they like to do experiments, but more so data-driven experiments. That's why it's very important as a growth marketer to have a process for testing, but also to be able to house those experiments and share those insights cross-functionally. Next is tools that growth marketers tend to use. Now, as mentioned, growth marketers tend to wear many hats. They have a lot of responsibilities. As a growth marketer myself, I've used a lot of different tools. I feel like I'm more of an IT person at this point than a marketer. So there's a bunch of these. I'm gonna just read them out quickly. So for customer growth, you'll use tools or channels like Google Ads, Meta Ads. You might use search engine optimization or content marketing like blogs. Another way, webinars, brochure, if you want to get inbound leads. If you want referral loops, you might have an email campaign that has a specific unique link that if a user uses, they can get 10% off a purchase, for example. And then on the data analysis side, for web data, you might use a platform like Google Analytics 4, Adobe Analytics, Kissmetrics, Kiwik Pro. If you're on the mobile app side, you might use a mobile measurement partner like AppsFlyer, Adjust, or Singular. Or if you want to learn more about product analytics, you might use a tool like Amplitude or Mixpanel. And then if you want a general business intelligence tool dashboard, you'll likely use Power BI or Tableau or Looker Studio. And then on the conversion rate optimization and A/B testing, you might use a tool like VWO, Optimizely, Google Sheets for documenting your tests, Hotjar, Heap. Next is email marketing and customer retention. You'll use tools like Salesforce, HubSpot, Pipedrive, ActiveCampaign, Klaviyo, Marketo, and 1,000 more CRMs. Hint, to be honest, they all pretty much fundamentally do the same thing, right? You can create campaigns, you can create automations for those campaigns. You can segment the customers that you've acquired by their habits or by the type of product that they use. So generally, CRMs do the same thing. In terms of attribution and tracking, very important as a growth marketer. Going back to the idea of being data-driven, you might use a WordPress plugin to help you with tracking. Very likely you'll use Google Tag Manager, or if you're more technical and you have a developer who can help you out with conversion tracking, you might use a tool like Segment or a pixel from an ad network, like the Facebook Pixel, or very likely you'll probably use Conversion API, which is a more advanced way of tracking, where your data goes to your own server, then that data gets passed on. That data you can use to utilize in a way that you want to. You have full control of that data rather than the data directly coming from the ad network. So worthy mentions: Telium, Rudderstack, Lytics, SEMrush, Ahrefs, Moz, Trello, Funnel.io, Asana for project management, Slack, and Google's Looker Studio, which I'm a big fan of. Next chapter is challenges and opportunities of growth marketers. The first one would be, as a growth marketer, even though we have defined what it is, it's still an evolving role, right? If you're a marketer looking for a growth marketing job, for example, you'll see that a lot of growth marketing roles are defined differently. You might have a growth marketer much more focused on landing page tests, building out a website. You might be a growth marketer much more focused on creating emails, more on the lifecycle marketing aspect. Or you might be a growth marketer much more focused on advertising or performance marketing. Or you might be a growth marketer focused on a lot of different things, and your role might evolve. And that's the main challenge of being a growth marketer, is that it's undefinable, and it's evolving, and it really changes depending upon the company that you work for. So make sure you read the job spec before you apply for a growth marketing job. Next is task overwhelm. So you wear many hats. It's easy to want to test out and try many different things as a growth marketer, but the ability to prioritize also becomes important, right? Because what you need to focus on is that your output needs to go back to a specific metric, right? Going back to the idea of being data-driven. You're not just doing one thing as a growth marketer. You're usually doing 10 different things all at the same time. So task overwhelm is an issue. Next challenge is, to be honest, every marketer has this challenge, but growth marketers for sure. It's understanding that full user journey, right? That full funnel user journey. Check out the term Pirate Framework if you want to learn more about this full funnel strategy or approach to growth. A lot of us struggle with just acquiring data, right? So it's even more difficult when you try to attach a specific data to a specific part of that user journey, from awareness all the way to revenue, referral, and retention. And that's a big challenge that even the biggest companies that I've consulted with have. So opportunities of a growth marketer. There's quite a few things, right? So the first one is that because you wear many hats, you have many responsibilities, you have a lot more lever, you have a lot more power and influence in terms of not just marketing, but you can also help influence product positioning. You can also help with data analysis. You can also influence your stakeholders in terms of very important business decisions that may affect the company long term. And part of that entails that there's so much tools out there that are free for growth marketers. The only two parts that might block you as a growth marketer is your stakeholder. Maybe they don't approve some of the ideas that you have. And second is data silos, right? Especially if you work for a company that you don't have a lot of say in data acquisition and data analysis beyond what's in your control, you're going to have issues there, and that's going to happen pretty much with every marketer. The second thing is relating it to digital marketing. There's so much information out there if you want to learn more about growth marketing. So you're never really going to be slowed down by not having the right information. You're never going to be stuck, especially with AI. And then next is growth marketing. Being a growth marketer tends to be very lucrative if you're in the right economy and you find the right company, or even if you become a consultant, because it tends to be quite a high-skilled marketing function. You tend to get higher rate or a higher salary. So as of 2024, my research, salary ranges can go from $70,000 all the way to $120,000 base. And I think it's a pretty decent salary because it's a valuable hire, right? You're not just marketing, you're a bit of product, you're a bit of data, a bit of a product manager or a project manager as well. And then finally, the greatest opportunity of being a growth marketer is that I do believe to a degree that every marketer will have to wear many hats and learn many skills, and they'll have to be more data driven, do more experiments, think more full funnel. So I do think a lot of marketers will really call themselves growth marketers, and now is really the best time to at least get familiar with the term growth marketing and ways to upskill so you can actually be defined as one. Thanks for watching the video. The next few videos that I'll release is all about growth marketing, so it's going to be a bit of a series, just like our app marketing series from last year. Thanks for watching. Till next time. Peace.